Welcome to the summer edition of Seasonal Garden Tips. There are some of the perennials that can be seeded out in the garden at this time of the year. We'll talk about seeding vegetables and protecting those plants that are already in the garden. Let's get started. It's not too late for a lot of the vegetables. In fact, the summer and fall vegetables should be planted at this time of the year. The mesclun varieties, and by the way, any of the leaf lettuce really are nice crops to plant during the summer and into the fall months too. And the bunching types of onions, boy, you can plant them in the summer and into the fall months. And of course, any of the varieties of carrots are particularly nice for fall as well as summer crops. And the radishes, you can plant them about every 10 days if you want to. And another great crop are the beets. I'm going to show you how to plant these beets. Notice one thing always though, when you select, look first for the name, second, look for the price and the weight, so that you get the varieties that you want. You'll find that some seeds are more economical than others, and you'll find the Hume seeds in your rack here in the store. Now, just seed the beets about 3 to 4 inches apart and simply cover in over the top, and you only want them about 1/4 of an inch deep. It's that easy, and now's the time to do it. Because of the cold weather, if you didn't get a chance to plant out your corn and beans, it's not too late in early summer. And I think if you're going to plant beans, probably the best type to plant are the bush beans. For example, this is the Blue Lake bush here, and it comes also in a pole, but I do the bush varieties. This is a French bean here, and of course the Purple Queen and also the golden wax beans. Those are excellent varieties to start at this time of the year. And then in the corn, you want early varieties of corn, and probably of all of them, this is the best one, and that's early Sunglow hybrid. Doesn't get too tall, it only gets about 5 or 6 feet high, bears very well, and a very sweet, nice corn. Other good varieties include my favorite and my wife's favorite, and that's the candy corn, and also alpine, and as well here's lyric, and here's a variety that's very popular too, peaches and cream. Those are all good varieties. Let me just quickly show you how to plant beans. One of the easiest things to do, I think, on the bush beans is to just kind of scatter the seeds like this and then space them out a little bit. And I do the whole bed, by the way. I'm just doing a little area to show you. And then barely push them in the soil with your fingers, like so. Space them out a little bit if they're too close together. Spacing usually about 2 to 4 inches apart is great. And then as far as the corn is concerned, in a wide bed like this, we'll do it a little bit different way, and that is that we'll plant 2 kernels of corn together and on about 1 foot centers. So I'll put a kernel there and a kernel right next to it, and then just push them in and come over here 1 foot and do the same thing. Kernel there and a kernel there, and we'll go over here another foot and put 2 kernels in and push, and the same, and we'll do that all the way across the bed. So instead of doing rows, we're making a bed of corn, and that works out very good, and that'll bring them on very quickly, especially because we're growing them here in the wide bed and the raised bed as well. It's not too late to plant out the bush beans and the early varieties of corn, but do get started right away. Summer's the time to seed out your perennials and biennials. If you want to add some permanence to your garden, the perennials are ideal to seed now, because they'll grow this year and then they'll flower next year. And here are just a few of the most popular ones. The beautiful carnations, of course, with their great fragrance. Any of the Gloriosa daisies can be seeded. And of course, lupins and winter flowering pansies add color to the garden this winter. And of course, the Iceland poppies. And here are just a few of the others. Now keep in mind, when you go to the seed rack, look for the blue tops. That indicates that they are perennials. Now, any of the biennials will have green tops. A biennial is a plant that grows one year, flowers the next year, and then usually seeds from then on. It's only a 2-year plant though. Okay, here's how we start. And I'm going to use this really low-growing variety of Shasta daisy for this purpose. And remember, you always open the bottom of the seed packet, and then we'll take the seed out. And I'm using, as you can see, black gold soil here. And I'll just seed a row here, and then barely cover it with some of the side soil. And although that's already moist, I will still moisten it just a little bit more, and I'll put the seed packet in here to indicate where it's planted. So we'll just moisten it just a little bit. There we go. That's all we need to do. And another thing that you can do at this time of the year that'll add a lot of color to your fall and winter garden, in fact, this is when you want to get them started, are the flowering kale and the flowering cabbage. Now you can seed them like I've done here in the black gold soil, or in this particular case, I put the black gold soil in these little trays. Again, I'll open the bottom of the packets, and what these are just little individual pockets, and you can see the seeds. So I'll only put 1 or 2 seeds in each one of those, like so. There we go. And then the weaker of the two we can take out and transplant as they begin to grow. So we'll have more than one plant. But this will give them a good start. And what we'll do then is I'm going to just take a little bit of this side soil to give you an idea. Barely cover the seeds. That's really what's important. We tend to cover the seeds way too deep. It's that simple. And boy, if you want to get some permanence in your garden, or if you want some fall color with the flowering kale and cabbage, start seeding them now. The perennials, seed them now. And if you have an open space in the garden, you really don't have to do it in a tray at all. Just do it in an open spot of the garden. But good projects to get started right now.